Yeah, I know. I got some big jaws.
I'm so wasted.
I'm sponsored by God.
Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Roy Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss, and Robert Shaw, is a classic. Like, it was so good and so scary, especially when it came out, that it made people afraid of water. Now, if you haven't seen Jaws, my one question would be, why haven't you seen Jaws, loser? No, you're not a loser, you're just uncultured. All joking aside, this movie review is going to involve some spoilers, so if you haven't seen Jaws, go and watch Jaws, then come back and watch this review. It's not going to be a super spoiler-filled review, but well, yes, it will be. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Without further ado, let's talk about Jaws in the perfect shirt imaginable. From the opening scene, this movie pulls you in. Everybody knows the opening scene. It's this: naked girl and a shark mauling, having sex. No. Naked girl, shark, mauling, gone. The mauling scene in this movie, it's crazy. When I first saw Jaws, it was, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. It's been a, you know, it was a while ago. That was when I first saw it. And I remember the opening scene really grabbed my attention because, of course, the theme, we'll talk about the theme a little bit more later, but the theme starts playing, the girl starts getting scared, she starts getting thrashed around, and she's screaming like crazy, there's blood everywhere, and then silence. Great way to open a movie. Now let's talk about some of the performances. Roy Schneider plays the concerned good cop and dad very, very well. You care about his character, you care about his interests, you just care about him. But for me, the two best performances in this movie come from Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw. Dreyfuss's character is the expert, he's the information man. He knows that whenever the tiger shark is caught, he knows that's not the shark because the bite mark isn't as big as it needs to be, and they open up the stomach, and of course there are no human body parts or anything in there. So he is the guy really who drives the investigation whenever it could have ended, and he's the guy who really whispers in Roy Schneider's ear, telling him what to do, and just working with him on this hunt for the shark. But at the same time, he's kind of like not a real hands-on guy. He hasn't had a lot of sailing experience, it seems. But there is a guy in this movie who does know that, played by Robert Shaw. He is the grizzled shark hunter, the guy who has hunted sharks his whole life. He has skulls all in his, his house and everything, and he is the man. And he's probably the coolest character in this film. So that's three great leading performances in this movie that are just phenomenal. They build great characters in this movie. All three of the actors are terrific. There's also some great side performances. I thought I believe it's the mayor of the town, really plays that squeamy politician very well. You kind of want to hurt him. But now let's please talk about my favorite parts of this movie, and specifically the directing in those parts. For me personally, one of my favorite scenes is the scene where Matt Hooper is scuba diving and he's checking out the sunken boats and everything. And the way that scene builds tension, you think Jaws is there. You think the shark is coming for Richard Dreyfuss. It's at night, if you can remember. And we all know that you're not supposed to go swimming in the ocean at night. But anyways, Matt Hooper's down there doing that. And he peers through this hole, and then dead body! I remember one time when I was watching that movie, my mom was sitting on an ottoman, and she literally flew back and just lay down on her back. Thrilling scene, for sure. Just the way the score builds in that scene and the way Spielberg moves the camera really gives you the feeling that the shark is coming and Richard Dreyfuss is gone. Also, the shark cage scene I thought was terrific. Actually, fun fact, Matt Hooper was supposed to die in that scene. At least that's what I learned in my humanities class. But in that scene, if you can recall, they actually used a real shark, and a real shark actually got caught in the cage, and they couldn't really finish the scene after that, and so they kept Matt Hooper alive, the character anyways, and just wrote him into the script for the rest of it. And just that whole scene, the fact that they had a real shark that actually broke the cage and got caught up in it, the fact that they got all of that caught on camera and put it in the movie, I mean, the chances of that happening are insane, but it did happen. And I'm so glad that it did. Of course, Quint's monologue, played by Robert Shaw, it's one of the greatest movie monologues in movie history. It's terrifying, haunting, his story about the USS Indianapolis, which was a true event, and it really built tension in that scene. That whole scene turned into a really, really scary kind of haunting monologue, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. Terrific acting. And also, before I go on, I gotta talk about the score. John Williams' score in this is one of the greatest musical themes, at least in movie history. Every single time the theme comes on, you get tense, you get suspenseful, you know the shark is coming, you know something's going to happen, and it never fails. It's a really, really scary score that just makes your stomach tight, and you can't move because you can't take your eyes off the screen. One of the most iconic themes in movie history, for sure. And the finale of this movie is terrific. There's nothing more that I can say that hasn't already been said. The finale in this movie is tense, it's suspenseful, it's perfectly executed. When you actually finally do see the shark, I mean, obviously nowadays you can tell that it's, it's fake, it's like a, animatronic. However, back then, as far as I know, everyone says that they were like, wow, that looks like a completely real shark. And in all honesty, it really doesn't look that bad even today. I mean, you can definitely tell that it's, it's dated, but still, I think the shark prop was very good, and it didn't ruin the scene for me. I didn't lose any suspense in the scene. I was still like, that shark is evil and I want it to die. Yes, blow it up. I mean, the death of Quint was horrifying, and, it just solidified in my mind that that shark needed to go to hell in a million pieces. As for the Jaws sequels, I have not seen any of the Jaws sequels. I was told to stay away, and so I have stayed away. Guys, Jaws is one of the most iconic movies ever made. I love it. You should love it too. If you haven't seen it, why are you still watching this review? I mean, you already know what score I'm gonna give Jaws, so I might as well not even say it, but just know that here is 1 and here is 10. You can't even see 10, but Jaws is up there. So please tell me, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of Jaws? Do you love it, or do you think it's overrated? Whatever your thoughts are, please comment below and tell me about them. And if you liked this movie review and you want to see more movie reviews like this one, please click on my playlist, Carter's Movie Reviews, and you will find a lot of, you guessed it, movie reviews. And as always, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe, tell your friends about the channel. And now I'm going to say au revoir, and I'm going to go put on some pants. Yes, it's true, I have not been wearing pants this entire review. You're welcome.